Okay, let's be real for a sec. You're probably juggling like a million things right now. Work, family, that never-ending to-do list.
It's the modern life.
It is. And it's no secret that all that pressure, it can lead to major stress. But what if I told you that tiny needles could be the secret weapon to feeling calmer?
Oh, tell me more.
Today, we're going deep, diving into the world of acupuncture for stress management.
Sounds fascinating.
You might know a bit about it already, but I bet we'll uncover some moments together.
I'm sure we will. I think you'll be fascinated by how acupuncture can actually get to the root of your stress response, not just a temporary fix.
So we're talking long-term stress management here.
Exactly. Acupuncture is a core part of traditional Chinese medicine, which has been around for over 2,500 years.
Wow, 2,500 years.
It's all about tapping into your body's natural ability to heal and find balance. And honestly, the needles themselves are way less intimidating than people think.
Okay, I have to admit, needles aren't exactly my favorite thing.
Yeah.
But you're saying they're not these huge, scary things.
No, not at all. We're talking like hair-thin needles. In fact, many people find the experience incredibly relaxing, even falling asleep during their sessions.
So help me understand this. How can sticking needles into specific points on your body actually relieve stress? I don't quite get the connection.
It's all about understanding that stress, it isn't just a mental thing. It has a very real physical impact on the body.
Oh, interesting.
It triggers the release of cortisol, the stress hormone,
Right.
And chronically high cortisol, well, that can lead to all sorts of problems. We're talking inflammation, weakened immunity, even increasing your risk of chronic diseases.
Whoa, okay, so those stressed out feelings, they're actually backed up by real changes in your body. I never really made that connection before.
Absolutely. What's fascinating is that acupuncture can step in as a sort of stress reset button for your nervous system. Studies have actually shown that acupuncture can regulate the system, calming that fight or flight response that gets triggered by stress.
So it's like hitting the pause button on that whole cascade of stress hormones and giving your body a chance to chill out, basically.
You got it. And this can then lead to a reduction in those cortisol levels, and get this, an increase in feel-good chemicals like endorphins.
Wait, so you're saying that acupuncture can actually boost those feel-good chemicals? I thought that was just something you got from exercise or chocolate.
Well, exercise and chocolate definitely help, but acupuncture can trigger them too. And there's actual scientific evidence to back this up. For example, one study published in the Journal of Endocrinology found that acupuncture significantly reduced cortisol levels in people under stress.
Okay, that's impressive. So it's not just some anecdotal, I feel better kind of thing. There's real physiological change happening.
Precisely. Another study published in Acupuncture and Medicine found that acupuncture helped improve symptoms of both anxiety and depression.
Oh, wow.
Showing just how powerful its impact can be on your mental and emotional well-being.
All right, so for those of you listening who are intrigued, maybe even considering giving acupuncture a try, let's walk through what a typical session looks like.
Sure.
Take it away.
So it usually starts with a consultation with a licensed acupuncturist. They'll want to understand your health history, your current stress levels, and any specific concerns you might have. To really personalize the treatment to your individual needs.
So it's not a cookie-cutter approach, which makes sense because everyone experiences stress differently, right?
Then you'll lie down on a comfortable table, and the acupuncturist will gently insert those super thin needles into specific points on your body.
Okay.
Often targeting areas like the ears, wrists, feet, or back.
And again, just to reiterate, these needles are seriously thin, like a strand of hair,
Yep.
right? Not the scary kind.
Exactly. Most people feel minimal discomfort, maybe a slight tingling or warmth, but many describe the sensation as deeply relaxing.
I can imagine lying there in a peaceful setting with those tiny needles doing their thing. Sounds pretty zen, actually.
It's actually so common for people to fall asleep during their sessions.
Oh, well, I can totally see that. So how long does a typical session last?
They usually range from 30 to 60 minutes. What's interesting is that many people report feeling benefits after just one session.
Really? That quickly?
It can happen, but for long-term stress management, regular sessions are usually recommended.
Okay, so it's like building a consistent practice, like going to the gym or meditating regularly.
You've got it. It's about building a routine that helps you stay ahead of the stress curve.
So let's say someone's ready to take the plunge and make acupuncture a part of their life. What are some tips for getting the most out of it?
Do your research. Find a licensed acupuncturist with good reviews and credentials. You want to be sure you're receiving safe and effective treatment.
So just like you wouldn't trust your teeth to just any dentist, you want to find a qualified acupuncturist, right?
Exactly. And consistency is key, just like with any wellness practice. Maybe start with weekly sessions and adjust the frequency as needed based on your individual response and goals.
It's about finding that balance where you're getting the benefits without feeling overwhelmed.
Absolutely. And don't underestimate the power of combining acupuncture with other stress relief practices you already enjoy.
Right, like those yoga classes I keep meaning to get back to. Or just taking some time for deep breathing exercises.
Those are great examples. Using acupuncture in combination with those can create a powerful synergistic effect and help you create a more resilient and balanced lifestyle.
So it's about building a whole toolkit of stress-busting strategies.
Exactly. And remember, everyone's experience with acupuncture is unique. Pay attention to how your body responds and communicate openly with your acupuncturist. They're your guide on this journey.
Speaking of journeys, I think it's time we tackle some of the common myths surrounding acupuncture. There are still so many misconceptions floating around.
Oh, I hear them all the time.
Let's debunk a few, shall we? First up, the fear factor. So many people just assume acupuncture is painful. But is it really?
Not at all. Remember those hair-thin needles we talked about? They're designed to minimize discomfort. Most people report feeling very little pain. And the sensations are often described as relaxing, tingling, or even euphoric.
So it's not about gritting your teeth and bracing for the pain. It's more about surrendering to the experience.
Precisely. Another common misconception is that acupuncture is only for physical pain, like backaches or headaches.
Yeah, that's what I always thought.
While it is truly effective for pain relief, acupuncture can also be incredibly helpful for mental and emotional issues, like stress, anxiety, and even insomnia.
Which makes sense given its effects on the nervous system and those feel-good chemicals we talked about earlier.
Absolutely. And lastly, let's address the placebo effect argument. Some people dismiss acupuncture as being all in your head.
Oh, I've heard that one too. But surely there's more to it than just like mind over matter, right?
There's a lot more to it. Research has actually shown that acupuncture has real, measurable effects on the nervous system, hormones, and even brain activity.
So it's not just about believing it works. There's actual scientific backing behind it.
Exactly. It's not a psychological trick. It's engaging with the body's natural healing mechanisms in a truly profound way.
So we've debunked some myths, explored the science, but what's the key takeaway here?
I think the key takeaway is that acupuncture can be a powerful tool in your stress management toolkit. It's not a quick fix, but a way to tap into your body's innate ability to heal and find balance.
And as we discussed, stress isn't just a feeling, it's a physiological response that can really impact your health over time.
By addressing stress at its root, acupuncture can help you cultivate a sense of calm, resilience, and well-being that goes way beyond just the treatment room.
So imagine how differently you might approach daily challenges if you felt consistently calmer and more grounded.
It's about empowering you to live a fuller, more vibrant life, unburdened by the weight of chronic stress.
And who wouldn't want that? We'll be right back to delve even deeper into this fascinating world of acupuncture and explore some practical tips for incorporating it into your own life. Welcome back to the Deep Dive. We've been exploring how acupuncture can be like your secret weapon against stress. It's honestly been pretty eye-opening for me, but I'm still wrapping my head around how these tiny needles can have such a profound impact on your well-being.
It might seem a little mysterious at first, I get it, but it actually makes a lot of sense when you consider how interconnected our bodies are, you know?
Okay, yeah. So walk me through it.
Okay, so acupuncture, it's rooted in traditional Chinese medicine, or TCM,
ACCM.
which views the body as this network of energy pathways called meridians.
So these meridians are like the body's energy superhighways, kind of.
Exactly. And according to TCM, when those pathways get blocked or out of balance, it can show up as all sorts of health issues, including stress, anxiety, pain, and even digestive problems.
So could you say that acupuncture is like removing roadblocks on those energy highways? Getting everything flowing smoothly again?
That's a great way to put it. By stimulating specific acupoints along these meridians, acupuncturists can help restore balance and encourage your body's natural healing abilities.
It's almost like hitting the reset button on your whole system.
I like that analogy. And one of the most interesting things is that acupuncture can trigger the release of endorphins, your body's natural mood boosters.
Oh, those lovely endorphins. I thought you could only get those from working out or eating chocolate.
Well, those are definitely effective methods, but acupuncture can do the trick too. Endorphins don't just make you feel good, they also help reduce pain and even boost your immune system.
Wow, talk about a win-win-win situation. But you mentioned something earlier about the autonomic nervous system. Can you refresh my memory on what that is again?
Absolutely. The autonomic nervous system is the part of your nervous system that controls all those automatic functions you don't even have to think about, like breathing, heart rate, digestion, basically all the behind-the-scenes stuff that keeps you going.
Okay, so the things that are always running in the background, even when we're not paying attention to them.
Exactly. And when we get stressed, this system goes into overdrive, triggering that fight or flight response. Your heart rate speeds up, you start breathing faster, you get that surge of adrenaline.
So it's like our body is preparing us to run from a tiger or something, back in the caveman days.
You got it. And while that's helpful in short bursts, if you're chronically stressed, your system is constantly stuck in this high alert mode.
Oh no.
Which can take a toll on your health over time.
It's like driving a car with your foot on the gas pedal, like, all the time. Eventually you're going to burn out.
That's a perfect analogy, and this is where acupuncture can really help. By stimulating certain points, it can actually help shift your nervous system from that fight or flight state to a more relaxed rest and digest mode.
So it's like helping your body take a deep breath and chill out.
Exactly.
I'm starting to understand how this ancient practice can be so powerful for, like, modern-day stress.
Exactly. It's a practice that acknowledges that deep connection between your mind and body. You can't separate them.
Okay, so we've talked about the science. But what does an actual acupuncture session look like? What can someone expect when they walk into a clinic for the first time?
It typically starts with a consultation where the acupuncturist will ask you about your health history, your lifestyle, and any specific concerns you want to address. It's helpful to come prepared to talk about your stress levels, your sleep patterns, or any health conditions you have.
So being open and honest with your acupuncturist is key. They need all the information to create the best treatment plan for you, right?
Absolutely. They might also feel your pulse, look at your tongue, and check certain points on your body just to get a better understanding of your energy flow.
Wait, examine your tongue. What's that all about?
It might sound strange, but in traditional Chinese medicine, the tongue is seen as like a map of your internal health. Yeah, the color, the shape, and the coating, they can provide insights into what's happening with your organs and energy systems.
So it's like another tool in their diagnostic toolkit. That's fascinating.
It is. Once the acupuncturist has gathered all this information, they'll develop a treatment plan and start inserting the needles.
Okay, so how many needles are we talking about here? A dozen?
The number and placement of needles, that'll vary depending on your individual needs and what you're trying to address.
So it's not like one of those acupuncture scenes in a movie where someone has needles sticking out everywhere.
Not necessarily. While the back is a common area, needles can be inserted all over the body, including your arms, legs, feet, ears, even your scalp.
Wow, it's a lot more nuanced than I initially thought. So once the needles are in, what happens? Do you just like lie there for an hour?
You usually rest for about 20 to 30 minutes while the needles are in place.
And is it uncomfortable at all?
Most people report feeling very little discomfort. You might feel a slight tingling, warmth, or pressure where the needles are inserted, but it's generally not painful. In fact, lots of people fall asleep during their sessions.
So it's less like a medical procedure and more like a deeply relaxing experience.
Exactly. Acupuncture can be incredibly calming. It triggers those endorphins, promotes a sense of peace, which can make it easy to doze off.
Like a power nap with benefits. So once the resting period is over, do you just jump up and go about your day?
It's best to take it easy for the rest of the day. You might feel a bit groggy or relaxed after the treatment.
Makes sense. So no intense workouts or anything right after, maybe just a gentle stroll in the park or some light yoga.
That's a great idea.
So let's say someone tries acupuncture for stress and they just absolutely love it.
Yeah.
How often should they go back?
Well, it really depends on the individual and how much stress they're experiencing. Some people find that weekly sessions are helpful,
Yeah.
while others might only need to go once a month or even less often.
So it's all about finding what works best for you and your lifestyle.
Exactly. It's also important to remember that acupuncture is just one tool in your stress management toolkit. It's not a magic cure-all.
It's more about integrating it into a holistic approach to well-being, right? combining it with other healthy habits like exercise, mindfulness, and a balanced diet.
That's a great way to put it. When you start prioritizing your well-being and making conscious choices to support your mind and body, you'll be amazed at how much more resilient you become to stress.
It's like building up your inner strength.
Exactly. The more you practice, the stronger you become, and the better you'll be able to handle whatever life throws your way.
So it's not about eliminating stress altogether, because that's impossible, right? It's about developing healthy coping mechanisms.
You've got it. Stress is a normal part of life. It can even be beneficial sometimes, motivating us to push ourselves and grow.
Like that feeling you get when you have a deadline that forces you to focus and perform at your best.
Exactly. But when stress becomes chronic, that's when it starts to negatively impact your health. And that's when it's so important to seek support and find those coping mechanisms that work for you.
And acupuncture can be a really valuable tool in that process.
Absolutely. It's a safe, natural, and effective way to reduce stress, unwind, and cultivate a sense of peace.
I'm curious though, you mentioned earlier that acupuncture is personalized. So would an acupuncturist treat someone differently if they're dealing with work-related stress versus relationship stress, for example?
That's a great question. While the principles of acupuncture stay the same, the specific points they choose and the techniques they use can be tailored to the individual's unique needs.
So it's not just a one-size-fits-all approach.
Not at all. A skilled acupuncturist takes into account all aspects of your life, including your physical, emotional, and mental state, to create a plan that's truly personalized.
So someone coming in for work-related stress might get a different treatment than someone struggling with relationship issues.
Exactly. For work-related stress, the acupuncturist might choose points that are known to ease anxiety, improve focus, and boost energy levels. They might even incorporate other techniques from TCM, like cupping or moxibustion.
Okay, wait, I've heard those terms before, but I have no idea what they mean. What are cupping and moxibustion?
Cupping involves placing heated glass cups on your skin to create suction. It's believed to help draw out toxins and improve circulation.
Ah, so those circular marks you sometimes see on people's backs, that's from cupping.
You got it. And moxibustion is a technique where they burn dried mugwort and herb near specific points to warm and stimulate energy flow.
Interesting, so it's like adding a bit of heat therapy to the mix.
Exactly. And these techniques can be really effective for things like muscle tension, pain, or inflammation.
It's amazing how multifaceted this practice is.
That's one of the things I find so fascinating about acupuncture. It's not just about sticking needles in people. It's about understanding the intricate connection between the mind, body, and spirit, and using a variety of tools to restore harmony and well-being.
It's a truly holistic approach that seeks to address the root cause, not just mask the symptoms.
Precisely. And that's why it can be so powerful for managing stress, which is often a symptom of deeper imbalances in our lives.
So by addressing those underlying imbalances, could acupuncture actually help us create a more sustainable and fulfilling life?
Absolutely. It's about empowering you to take control of your health and well-being and build a life that truly aligns with your values and aspirations.
That's something I think we can all get behind. And who wouldn't want a life filled with more ease and less stress? We'll be right back to explore some practical tips for finding a qualified acupuncturist and incorporating this ancient practice into your modern life.
Welcome back to the Deep Dive. We've been exploring this amazing world of acupuncture and how it can be a powerful ally in managing stress. It's been quite the journey so far. But let's get down to the practical stuff. For anyone listening who's thinking, okay, I'm intrigued, but where do I even start? What advice do you have?
Well, finding a qualified and reputable acupuncturist is the most important first step. Okay, so how do you go about doing that? Is it as easy as just searching online for acupuncturist near me?
While online searches can be a good starting point, you want to make sure you're going beyond just convenience. Look for practitioners who are licensed and certified by reputable organizations.
So what kind of organizations or credentials should we be on the lookout for?
In the U.S., the gold standard is the National Certification Commission for Acupuncture and Oriental Medicine, or NCCAOM for short. It's a widely recognized certifying body.
Got it. So check for that NCCAOM certification. What else?
Don't underestimate the power of personal recommendations. Ask friends, family, or even your primary care doctor if they have any suggestions.
Yeah, word of mouth is powerful, especially when it comes to something as personal as healthcare. So once you've found a few potential acupuncturists, what's the next step?
Schedule a consultation. It's a chance to ask questions, get a feel for their approach, and see if it's a good fit for you.
It's like a first date, but for your health. You want to make sure you feel comfortable with their expertise and that you, vibe with their overall philosophy.
Exactly. Don't be afraid to ask about their experience with stress management, their approach to acupuncture, or even their general outlook on wellness.
Right. Finding someone who aligns with your values and goals is so important. Speaking of goals, what are some realistic expectations for acupuncture? Should people expect to walk out of their first session feeling like they're floating on a cloud?
While some people do experience immediate relief, it's important to remember that acupuncture is a process. It's not a quick fix, but rather a cumulative approach.
So, like any wellness practice, consistency is key.
Exactly. Think of it as a journey, not a destination. Regular sessions can gradually help you build resilience to stress, reduce those pesky symptoms, and cultivate a deeper sense of balance and well-being.
It's not about putting out the fire every time it flares up. It's about creating that, fireproof foundation so you can handle the heat.
That's a great way to put it. And be patient with yourself. Just like you wouldn't expect to master yoga after one class, you can't expect acupuncture to erase years of stress overnight.
Yeah. We've been focusing on acupuncture for stress, but it's capable of so much more, right?
Absolutely. Acupuncture has been used for centuries to address a wide range of health concerns. We're talking everything from pain management and insomnia to digestive issues and fertility.
So it's not just a trendy fix for stressed out millennials.
Not at all. It's for anyone and everyone who's looking to tap into their body's natural healing capabilities. And as research continues to explore its potential, we're discovering even more applications for this ancient practice.
It's like a treasure chest of possibilities, just waiting to be unlocked. And speaking of possibilities, let's end our deep dive with a thought-provoking question for our listeners. Imagine a world where you approach daily challenges with a sense of calm, clarity, and resilience, where stress doesn't throw you off track, but actually fuels your growth and creativity. What would that feel like? What would that look like in your life?
It's a beautiful vision, and while it might seem far off, it's more attainable than you might think. Acupuncture, combined with other healthy habits and a commitment to self-care, can be a transformative journey towards that vision.
So, dear listener, as you go about your day, consider this. What if acupuncture is that missing piece you've been searching for? What if those tiny needles hold the key to a calmer, more balanced, more empowered you? We encourage you to explore this ancient practice with an open mind and a curious heart. Your well-being is worth it. Until next time, stay curious and keep diving deep.